Hello everyone and welcome to today's video. Today I'm going over a report out of the state of Illinois that the governor of Illinois, Democrat JB Pritzker, to announce soon he is announcing a run for a third term in 2026. The Democratic governor will announce on Thursday that he will seek a third term next year, answering a question about its immediate political future, but leaving unanswered whether he will pursue a longer-term goal of running for president in 2028. Multiple sources close to Pritzker's campaign confirmed to the Chicago Tribune Tuesday the governor will make the announcement at an in-person event in Chicago and Springfield, though exact details of what it will entail have not yet been finalized. Democratic supporters Monday were invited to a campaign announcement for Pritzker, but were not told the details. He is the first incumbent governor to seek a third term as chief executive since the late former Republican governor James R. Thompson, who went on to serve 4 terms. Illinois has no term limits on its constitutional offices. So this is a pretty, not surprising, but it's a pretty big deal. The state of Illinois, which is one of the larger population states in the United States, its incumbent governor, JB Pritzker, is now running again. He is a Democrat, and the background on Wikipedia is interesting here. It describes it as a moderately to strongly blue state. Illinois has a reputation for being both the most populous and most left-leaning state in the Midwest, but traits vastly owed to the progressives and diverse Chicago metropolitan area. Though the state has historically favored Republicans for governor, Democrats have won all but one gubernatorial race in Illinois since 2002, the exception being Bruce Rauner's narrow victory in 2014. In addition, Democrats have won Illinois by double-digit margins in every presidential race since 1992 and consistently occupied all of its statewide offices since 2019. So it's interesting here the Democrats have a pretty strong hold on Illinois, and JB Pritzker is expected to run. It's also interesting because when you talk about JB Pritzker, the conversation, almost always going to come back to 2028. But when you look at JB Pritzker, he's a Democratic governor that's long been speculated as a possible 2028 candidate. Pritzker, who's also one of the wealthiest elected officials in America with an estimated net worth of $3.7 billion, has largely bankrolled his own gubernatorial campaigns, as well as national abortion rights initiatives. Pritzker is considered a potential running mate for Kamala Harris in the 2024 election. Pritzker is a potential Democratic contender, according to Bloomberg News, Politico, NBC News, and Wall Street Journal. In 2023, Pritzker declined to speak directly with Representative Dean Phillips regarding his effort to try and convince him to enter the Democratic Party presidential primary to oppose Joe Biden. But it's all eyes for Pritzker, likely about 2028. But for Pritzker to be on the ticket in 2028, he first needs to make a decision about 2026, and now it seems that he has. And the good news for Pritzker is he's running in the state of Illinois, which is likely not going to be much of a problem for him. At the governor level in 2022, Pritzker won re-election by 12.5%, a likely Democratic margin. The actual vote numbers, Pritzker ended up getting about 2.25 million votes. The Republican Darren Bailey got about 1,700,500 votes. So Pritzker won by a pretty healthy margin in the state of Illinois in 2022. Back in 2018, he won by 15.7% against the then Republican governor at the time, Rauner. We won a very close election, Rauner, back in 2014 in that very big Republican wave year when pretty much everywhere was electing Republicans. We saw Republican wins in Illinois, in Maryland, in Massachusetts, in Maine, very close elections in Connecticut, in Rhode Island, Vermont at the time, New Hampshire. So it was a very big and very close elections as well in Colorado. It was a very big night for the Republicans in 2014. 2018 was a very big night for the Democrats, where a lot of those did swing back to the Democratic side. So at the governor level, Pritzker electorally is looking pretty strong. As for 2024, Harris defeated Trump in Illinois by 10.9%, which was narrower than recent past elections. So Illinois did trend a little bit towards the Republican direction. In 2020, it voted for Joe Biden by 17 points. So that trend between 2020 and 2024, Illinois shifted about 6.1% towards Donald Trump. We can look at the governor level as well. Let me just do a quick comparison of these election results here. Illinois shifted about 3.2% towards the Republicans from 2018 to 2022. So Illinois is slowly shifting a little bit to the Republican side, but it's still overwhelmingly Democrat, that it's not really too much of a concern for Pritzker for 2026. I think Pritzker is probably going to win re-election without much trouble. On the Republican side, there are 3 Republicans currently running: James Medrick, a DuPage County sheriff; Phil Perez, a member of the Poznan Park District Commission; and Joseph Severino, a capital management professional and nominee for the 10th District in 2022. 3 of the Republicans have expressed interest in running: Aaron Del Mar, Darren LaHood, and Richard Porter. Right now, let's mention that Darren LaHood, who's the most well-known of the 3, has announced he is running for currently running for re-election for the House, but that could change. But Cook Politico, Inside Elections, and Sablo Crystal Ball all have the state listed as solid Republican. And just to show you also, for the 2026 map here, it does list Illinois on the page as Democrat +6 at the Cook PVI margin, which means based on Cook PVI, Illinois would be considered about a likely Democratic state. So everything really points to Illinois not really being too competitive for 2026. If I was to start out with a prediction for Illinois, I do think Pritzker, he won't break 50% of the vote, even though it is a Democratic expected good night in the midterm elections. I do think Pritzker starts out as the favorite to win this race without much competition, probably around 13.5% to 14% at least in this governor's race. And again, if he does win, which I expect he will, all eyes will be on 2028. I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure to like and subscribe if you did. Leave a comment below, tell me your thoughts, and I hope to see you in a future video.